Alright, what is up, y'all? We're here today for week 2 of the ABC, going up against the homie Strompfel. This man is someone who, I remember watching videos of him on the fucking GBA channel, like, way back in the day. So it's cool to be able to play him. He's obviously a very good player, and his team is, how to put this lightly, fucking scary as shit. So, you can see it on the screen. He's got the Dragonium and the Ferium, which means that Garchomp is looking like a fucking threat. And actually, I didn't think about this, but watching his draft analysis, he has no mon that benefits from his Ferium, which it's cool for me, but it's kind of shitty because that bottom one was randomized. So I got the Fightium, which kind of helps because a lot of things get fighting coverage, but the Ferium does him no good, which is super fucking unfortunate. But also, I've been watching a little bit too much Letterkenny lately, so I might be using like some weird Canadian slang, and that's on me, dude. I'm sorry, fucking, but. Pitter patter, let's get at her. So, let's go ahead and jump into it. That's basically the American version of what I just said. Pitter patter, let's get at her. So, wisdom that's been passed from my family down to from my father and his father's father is if you have a Magearna, you bring it. That's just something that I've always heard. I remember being nursed at the teat and hearing that. That was like the first memory I have was bringing the Magearna. So we're bringing Magearna. We are the expert belt set with Shift Gear, Aura Sphere, Ice Beam, and Flare Cannon. The plan with this guy is to get up T-Spike with Greninja. Preferably knock off that P2 with Young Spooks here. And then to basically just annoy the shit out of his mons with a Vileplume, and then put everything in range, and this expert belt boosted Magearna is hopefully going to be doing fucking shitloads of damage to his team. So at +2, Ice Beam is going to, at +2 speed, I outspeed everything on his team. I don't actually remember, this is close to max speed, so I want to say that this outspeeds Scarfchomp, but I don't actually remember, not going to lie to you guys. Flare Cannon, Fairy Draco, good fucking, move. Ice Beam actually hits a lot of his team. Garchomp and Zapdos, fucking done. Diglett, done. Fucking, it gives me a way to hit Necrozma without having to drop my fucking stats. And then Aura Sphere is basically just there for the fucking, for the P2, and then it also gives me a decent neutral way to hit Mega Mawile. Originally that was Focus Blast, but I never hit a Focus Blast in my life, so I'm not even gonna fucking bother. The rolls were so much better with Focus Blast, but you know what's better than missing a Focus Blast? Doing 2/3 of the damage with Aura Sphere, so fuck it. Next we have a Choice Banded Zygarde. This boy is fucking, I don't want to say he's the win con, but like it's fucking there, and it puts in a lot of work versus his team. Once the T-Spike goes up, not a lot of stuff like the Glycopod or the P2 that would wall this want to stay in on 2 Choice Banded Outrages or 1,000 Arrows or whatever, because we also have Superpower, which can hit that P2. We got Toxic to hit the fucking Guzma or the P2 as well. And basically, man, it's just gonna sit in there. So all I have to do is keep this thing out of range of dying to a fucking Sucker Punch from Mega Mawile, which it does about half if he's unboosted. However, if I'm not mistaken, like, because he'll probably be like a bulky no speed set, so I actually do have speed for that on Vileplume, which is kind of funny. And 1,000 Arrows just kills. Banded, it does just kill, even if he's fucking bulky, so that's just gonna fucking die. Also, it should be noted we're Adamant, and we have speed for the Necrozma. And that's pretty much it for old Squishy here. Next, we have the second Expert Belt set. The second Expert Belt set, bro? You ever heard about Best Item before? Because it's fucking Expert Belt. Now, Froppy the Greninja here with Expert Belt. It's not protein, but it still hits pretty fucking hard. We got Toxic Spikes. We just want to set them spikes up. We want to make sure Necrozma, P2, Glycopod, all that shit doesn't just sit in here and tank hits forever. Dark Pulse and Hydro Pump for stab, obviously, and then Ice Beam, like we said, is going to hit that Garchomp and that Zapdos, and it's going to be just a grand old time. Now, we have Mega Banette, and I've heard some speculation lately about the validity of Mega Banette, and I don't want to fucking hear it, okay? It's got 165 base attack, it's got all kinds of shenanigans that are prankster boosted. It can knock off, it can Shadow Sneak, it can fucking Sucker Punch, it does things and stuff. I'm tired of it. Eat dicks, Shoutouts to the Goo draft analysis. It should have just been named Eat Dicks. But yeah, this guy is basically just here to knock off and pain split his whole team. You know my fucking deal with Mega Banette. If you play it correctly, it always gets a kill because of fucking Destiny Bond. And then Shadow Sneak is just good to have for priority. I was pretty scared of a Scarf Chump. I was pretty scared of like a fucking Autotomized Weakness Policy fucking Necrozma. So I want to make sure I can hit that and not fucking die forever. So that's going to be Spooks here. We have a little bit of speed on this guy, and that's just to make sure that we can outpace stuff like Mawile, stuff like, I believe it was for, I want to say there was, I creeped him creeping something, and I don't exactly remember what the fuck it was for. And this might have just been one of those sets that Pat sent me. I don't fucking know anymore. Honestly, I've built so many teams with Pat these past 2 weeks. They're all fucking starting to blend together. So, shouts to Cal Pat, because he probably just built his whole team, and I probably just tweaked it a little bit. But in my head, I put those speed EVs there, and I'm not sure if I did or not. So, fuck it. Next, we have Fightium Z, Killua the Zero Aura, with Hidden Power Ice, Focus Blast, Thunderbolt Substitute. Hidden Power Ice obviously hits the shit out of that Garchomp. Thunderbolt hits everything else. Focus Blast hits the Steelix, which I don't expect to come, but if it does come, then I can fucking kill it with the Fightium Z. Fightium Z is also very, very helpful for like the Mega Mawile because it's going to do a lot. And then, yeah, dude, it's just fucking, there's also a, you know, that P2 there. It's also, probably needs to die. So hopefully we can hit that bitch with a Z Focus Blast as well. Last but not least, we have Brain, the Rocky Helmet Mon with, it's just Fizdef, but with a little bit of speed, so that no speed fucking Mega Mawile can't just sit there and SD in my face and then kill shit. I'm going to put that bitch to sleep. I might strength sap it up a little bit. We got Sludge Bomb, Giga Drain, Dual Stab. You know how Vileplume works. It's fucking in there. It's annoying. 75% of the time, it works every time. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. Okay, so before we start, I do have to give a huge shout out to Strompfel because I may have inconvenienced the man a little bit. I had to play on Wednesday. I played all 4 of my draft games this week on Wednesday because Thursday on I'm fucking moving. My life is in shambles. Everything is a mess. Send help, please. So I just wanted to get them all out of the way. I just didn't want to have to deal with that and moving at the same time. So shout outs to him for being accommodating to me. I know when we're in different fucking time zones and shit, so it's always a pain in the ass. He's a good dude. Sub to him. So he brings the Mawile, the P2, the Zapdos, the Glycopod, the fucking Steelix, and the Garchomp. We don't see a Necrozma, which is fucking A-okay with me. We don't see a Keldeo, which is fucking A-okay with me. And we don't see a potentially Scarf Diglett, which could have been a pain in the dick for Magearna, so yay. Yeah, basically I'm going to lead off with Banette. I want to frisk an item right off the bat, and I want to start knocking shit off. So, like I said, yeah, we lead with Banette, who has a butt plug. I never really noticed before. That's unfortunate. He's going to intimidate us, but you know what? Listen, right off the bat, I knew he didn't want to get his fucking, his giant Uber Wincon Will-O-Wisp, so I just clicked knock off expecting the P2 to come in and take that Will-O-Wisp, but however, he goes into the Zapdos, and that's fine. We knock off those lefties turn 1. That's fucking A-okay with me, but I'm going hard Zero Aura. He clicks Toxic, which is a good play. And I'm going to click HP Ice here, expecting either Garchomp or Steelix to come in. It also did hit Zapdos, but, you know, T-Bolt did more. So, now, fuck it. I'm blowing the Z-Load. I'm going to go for that Z-Focus Blast. He has the Choppleberry. Good fucking prep on his part. He is also very, very sped-off, because even if he was like max HP, max attack, then that still had a chance to kill after the HP Ice damage. So I'm pretty sure, if my memory fucking serves me correctly, that is a very, very sped-off Steelix there. So I'm going to Gren. If he wants, he can go into P2 and save this for differential or as a sack later or whatever. And honestly, when I see this scenario in my head, I'm like, all right, we're gonna kill this and we're gonna get our battle bond. But that's fucking not what happens. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a T-Spike up. I want to make sure I get that T-Spike up as he goes for Stealth Rocks, which is fucking fine with me, dude. So Dark Pulse kills the Steelix, and we are 5-5. So Mega Mawile is gonna come out. I need to chip this down. I'm gonna go for Pump. We fucking miss, of course, because who the fuck hits Hydro Pump? Ever. Dude, who the fuck in their life has ever hit a Hydro Pump? Couldn't be me, dude. Couldn't be me. I'm not actually mad. It didn't really matter that much, because now we're in with Zygarde. We take some Rocks Chip, which is fine, but he has switch-ins, but his switch-ins will get poisoned, so that's cool with me. You know, we gotta bait those boys out. Glycopod's going to come out and get poisoned. It's going to take a decent amount from this, considering it's a resist and that thing's bulky as shit. We're going to go into Vileplume. This is EV to take the first impression into the and outspeed and then kill it with, not kill it, but, you know, get it into exit range. So we get the crit, which is kind of unfortunate because I think he could have stayed in there. But now he gets in his Mega Mawile and he's able to start clicking buttons. Now, he probably didn't know that I had speed on this Vileplume, specifically for this situation, and that's what happened. So, we go for the sleep powder, we put this giant fucking threat to sleep, and I can safely switch out back into Zygarde and start clicking buttons. So he's going to wake up. No, he didn't wake up this turn, thank God. He's going to sleep, and then I'm going to click Thousand Arrows again. He goes into Glycopod, takes some fucking chip, and I guess he was at like, it said 13, but it was probably one of those situations where it's like 12.4 or some shit, and they just rounded up. I've fucking lost so many mons to that stupid fucking thing, but I expected him to live, but I was prepared to take a first impression, because fuck it. So, now he's going to go into P2, which gets him poisoned, and that's fucking cool with me, dude. I'm going hard Banette on the Ice Beam. He actually goes for the Tri-Attack, which we're immune to, and that's fucking even better, dude. So, I can go for the Knock. I don't really care what comes in. I'm clicking Knock, dude. I'm clicking it. I'm fucking clicking it. Now, Mega Mawile is going to come in, and I decided to say, fuck it. I'm going to stay in and sneak a couple times, and just put this thing in range of Magearna. So, I go for the Destiny Bond this turn, just because he clicked Fire Fang, expecting me probably to go into Magearna and shift gear up while he's asleep, which was a pretty good, was a solid strategy. That was kind of the idea of the team, is to put the things to sleep and then fucking, shift gear up. But, I just wanted to kill it, so we went for the Destiny Bond. He makes that read and goes into the fucking, the Zapdos here, and shit. So, he's gonna go for the Defog, gets everything off the table, everything off the field, but it's already, P2's already poisoned, so fuck it. Now we can go hard Magearna on the Roost, and basically I have to hope that he's more Fizz-Def than Spadef, or maybe offensive, and Thunderbolt doesn't 2-hit KO us, so hopefully I can just kill him with this fucking Shift Gear into 2 Ice Beams. So I'm going to go for the Shift Gear. He misses a Heat Wave, and I kind of feel bad because he fucking missed the Heat Wave, and as we see on the next turn, it did a fucking lot. So we Shift Gear up, we Ice Beam, it doesn't kill even with the Expert Belt. Heat Wave does do 56%, so basically we weren't able to win there. Like, if he hit both of those, we fucking, it wouldn't have happened like that. So I'm gonna go for the Aura Spear, E-Belt boosted. It shows he's more Fizz-Def. Psy-Wave, dude, this man has fucking Psy-Wave Porygon 2, holy shit. I even had to tell him in the chat that was cool as fuck, because, like, first of all, I was calcing for HP Fire, hoping that wouldn't kill me. This man collects Psy-Wave, which I don't think did as much as HP Fire did, but holy shit was that cool. That was fucking cool as shit. So, but yeah, this thing's dying to another Aura Sphere, and it looks like Magearna's gonna do things like Magearna does. Dude, fucking the little Teal Day and JustMagearnaThings. We see, not only was he not Scarf, and he didn't, like, if he was Scarf, he didn't outspeed us. We do find out he was Z, which makes sense, Dragonium. He wasn't Yachi, so he just dies. And then Mega Mawile comes in. He doesn't actually have Sucker Punch, and he goes down to like the plus whatever 7 I was, fucking Aura Sphere. And we pick up a 4-0 victory versus our boy Strompfel, and honestly, that was a good fucking game. I enjoyed the fuck out of it. I'm really liking this team. I crit him on the fucking Giga Drain, and I dodged a Heat Wave, which, it kind of makes it a little bit shitty for him, and I did apologize about that, and yeah, it's just gonna suck sometimes, but that's the game we play. I guess we take those, fuck it. We'll move on to week 3, and see you guys later. Bye forever. Oh, definitely check out Strompfel as well. Sub to him, he's a good guy, and all the other coaches in the ABC as well. Bye forever.